Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There we go. We got to update that processor, bro. There you go. Okay. Damn.
How you doing?
I'm doing. You know, it's like I'm torn, right? Because I expected an ass kicking. I expected like Neptune just like opening up and just releasing the Kraken, and then he just comes out, destroys the city, and Mario and company go back home, and they lost like 42-12. You know, like 4 Borogalis field goals with the strings out, of course. But they played a tight game. They hung in there, and it's almost like I feel bad for the kids because on the sidelines, they don't have the edge. They don't have the coaching staff that makes the difference. And that's their job, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm torn. Like, I really can't rip the kids today. I really can't. They kind of went to a gunfight with a butter knife. And I and can't blame them almost. You know what I'm saying? And boy, do they need a quarterback.
Yeah. I think basically, what we've come to the realization is that Miami's closed the gap in a lot of areas with Florida State, except offensive coordinator and quarterback. And I know everybody's quick to just point the finger at Tyler Van Dyke and say he's the problem. Yes, he's certainly got an interception funk virus that he caught. But I also think one thing that we've seen pretty consistently since ACC play started is Miami's offense is really easy to figure out. It's really simple to stop, and there's not a lot of diversity to it. There's not a lot of trickery. And basically what happened in this game is once Miami sort of evened the field and tied the score at the half, Florida State made the adjustments they needed to make at halftime, and Miami's offense basically was shut down except for a couple of plays. Long Mark Fletcher run and the 85-yard touchdown pass. That's it. They had 2 plays on offense the entire second half. And so for everybody who just points a finger at TVD and says, hey, it's TVD's fault, he's terrible. Emory Williams was pretty bad today too, at quarterback. And he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the difference between him and Tyler Van Dyke. But the reality is he wasn't hitting open receivers, right? He was missing guys as well. So
he's bad.
To me, that goes back to one person. That goes back to the quarterback coach. That goes back to the head coach who has to find the right guy to put your players in the right offense. And I think the difference between Miami and Florida State right now, if we're being honest, is Florida State has a head coach who's a good offensive play caller who went out and got himself the right quarterback, right? And has an offensive coordinator who is sort of the perfect complement to him, who's a beast of an offensive line coach. Mario doesn't have that. And he's had 2 chances right now to do it, and I don't know. You can sit here and argue maybe he's got his fingers too involved in the offense. Maybe this is Mario's influence. Shannon Dawson is better than this and yada, yada. But I whatever the problem is, it's not showing on the field. So he's got to figure it out one way or the other. Either he has no influence on the offense whatsoever and let somebody else cook and have full control of the offense, or you change coordinator. And I think, unfortunately for Miami, the rest of the season, it is what it is. You're going to have Tyler Van Dyke most likely. I think, Emory Williams is done for the year. Pretty sure of that. Probably broke his left arm. Try and figure out what you can against Louisville and Boston College and hope that you can win at least one of these last 2 games so that you're not finishing 6-6, because that would be a real travesty to this team to just have a 1-game improvement over last year.
How bad is Jacurri?
Jacurri's problem is he's not accurate. Okay, he overthrows guys a lot. He doesn't set his feet before he throws. He's a hellacious athlete. You saw what he did against Georgia Tech last year, running for 89 yards. He hurdled some guys. But the fact that you can't even figure out how to get that guy on the field in some way, shape, or form is a joke. Like, he has some level of skill. He's the 2nd or 3rd fastest guy on the team. How the hell do you not use him at least in a package, in a trick play, in something in a game like this where your offense is just boring. You know,
Right.
I sat here. I didn't go to the game, obviously. I had a terrible stomach virus last night, so I was throwing up the whole night. I ended up staying here with my parents in St. Augustine. And my dad, you know, he's a guy who had tickets to the 72 Dolphins, season tickets. He was there every game. He knows what great coaching looks like with Shula and those guys. He hasn't really watched the Canes all year. And he looks at me and he goes, who the hell is this idiot play caller? You know, like, what a boring offense. So a guy who hasn't even watched the team all year tunes in for one game, and he's sitting next to me, and he can see it, right off the bat. Like, what the hell is wrong with this offense? Why are they so boring? I think that's the question we're all going to go into the offseason asking ourselves.
The perfect example is you play the comeback 3 straight times because you had no creativity, and finally they stop it because you had no other place to go. And it's like, how many times you're going to go to the well for the same play, bro? Mix it up, help your team out, help your players, you know, give them an edge. You're supposed to see things that they don't see. You're supposed to, you know, open their eyes and set them up as players. And I just don't see anything, dude. I really don't see anything. And to me, that's kind of the part that, you know, hurts. And then now quarterbacks. Okay, you guys talk about recruiting and recruiting and recruiting. What do we know about quarterbacks? Who are they going after? What names are out there?
Well, the one name is out that's been out there for, I don't know. So I heard this in the beginning of the season, was Michael Pratt, who's the quarterback at Tulane, who's a local kid. He's from Gulliver Prep, played down here in South Florida, and signed with Tulane. And obviously, Tulane's been one of the best, you know, Group of 5 programs in the country for the last couple of years. The thought is that maybe he would come back home for his final year, and that's the kind of guy you kind of do a D'Eriq King thing, right? Where this is a guy who can make plays with his arm and his legs. He's a guy that makes a difference in this offense. I do think Miami needs a dual threat quarterback, and the reason Emory Williams was effective today, if we really think about it, it's when he scrambled. The 2 of the biggest plays that he made was him scrambling for that first down in the first half and then breaking his left arm, stretching for a fourth, you know. The rest of the game, I mean, he basically got lucky that the 2 DBs crashed into each other on the 85-yard touchdown. And then he had one nice pass on a fade in the end zone. The rest of it, I mean,
that was a nice touch pass on his ass. Okay,
that was. But I think we can all agree he shouldn't be playing. He's a true freshman. He's a guy that needs to be sort of groomed, right, by a good quarterbacks coach to teach him, you know, and make him better. But again, that's why I think this all goes back to the coordinator and whatever interference Mario is running, because I just do not understand why there are not easier pass plays, why there are no halfback screens, why there's no involvement whatsoever from the tight ends in this offense. Like those are just, it's criminal. It's criminal, dude. Like, to me, you have to do something.
Pass them to the running backs, and they have running backs that can help you out, bro.
Right.
You know,
right? So it just seems like it just seems like the defense knows exactly what's coming, you know, and they didn't need, you know, some you know, analysts from Michigan to sit there and steal signs. They just know from watching the film, hey, these are the 6 plays Miami runs the whole game.
Are you telling me your team's not smart enough to expand the playbook here?
Maybe a little bit. Oh,
you know, how much more dumber can you make the offense? How much more remedial can you make the offense? It's brutal.
Think about Brett Lashley, right? And think about when he was running this offense.
God, no. It's the
same. It was basically the same personnel, except now they actually got better offensive linemen.
I got it. Isn't it Freaky Friday? When they switch personalities, the mother and the daughter, is it called Freaky Friday?
Freaky Friday, yeah.
So we've had this boring ass offense with the Dolphins for years, right? And you know, like some exciting stuff go on, and so now we have switched. The exciting goes on with the Dolphins, and the boring stuff goes over. So now, you know, sorry, Tony, but now the Sperano, the Adam Gase stuff, the Flow stuff, it's all like the ghost of Flow has gone over to the University of Miami. So there's been a Freaky Friday switch going on between the 2 teams. How about that, bro?
Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what happened. There's no other way. There's no other way to explain it, brother.
It was as exciting as the Wildcat. Sorry, Tony.
Well, these guys don't even run. These guys don't even run the Wildcat, which is crazy. You figure there'd be one installment of that somehow. It's really bad, and you're right to feel for the kids, because I think on defense, look, the one thing I'll say is I think when we look at the autopsy at the end of the season, we're gonna say, okay, he got the offensive line right. They played well today, by the way. The offensive line played really well today. So that unit he's got it going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And the defense was solid. Like, they gave up a couple plays, but they basically had their backup cornerbacks in. Jaden Davis, I don't think, exactly what I told you earlier in the week. Mario went to the Butch Davis School of Lying, that his two starting cornerbacks weren't going to play, even though he said they were perfect. And so they had the two backups in against two really good receivers, and Johnny, and they didn't lose because those guys didn't play well. They lost because they blew a punt coverage scheme. They missed a field goal, didn't have the laces out, and because the offense is, it puts you to sleep.
And by the way, let the referees, yes, they stole the safety. I get all of that. I understand. But Miami got away with a hold deep that the guy, if you don't hold him, he ends up catching a touchdown. Yeah. And Williams didn't get a first down. Okay.
Right. No, they got some breaks. They got some breaks there.
Yeah. And there was a targeting call that wasn't called. There was bad calls on both sides. In the end, I got to tell you, I was pleasantly shocked at how close this game was. I mean, I showed you the meme when I sent out at the beginning of this. I wasn't looking forward to this game. And when you're tied and you're right there tight and all that, like, whoa, dude, you're hanging in there. You got a shot. And
I think one thing we learned about Florida State is when they're not running the ball well, they're beatable. Because you go back to the Clemson game that they lost in overtime. Clemson held them to 22 yards rushing. Tonight, I think Miami held FSU to 57 yards rushing. So when they look pedestrian,
got to throw a touchdown against them at home.
Yeah.
Nobody had thrown a touchdown at home against FSU. I mean,
two of them.
Yeah. So, it's, again, I can't pick on the kids. I just felt the kids didn't have the support that they need from the adults in the building.
I agree. I agree with you. You and I see the side to eye for sure. I think, again, and I'm interested to see what happens going forward now, because obviously Emory out the rest of the year. Does that mean Tyler gets the starts the last two games? Do you try to get Jakari in there in some way, shape, or form to do something? I think that kid probably deserves an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
But again, nothing's gonna change. I think these next 2 weeks they're gonna win because their defense plays unbelievable, because they run the ball well, not because they throw it well.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm seeing for the foresight right now tells me Mario be the coach that wins based on his talent. And if his talent puts it together that week, that's fine. But it's not because we're going to sit back and go, did you see that effing game plan? Did you see how they tricked him for this? They fooled him here. They figured out this, whatever it was, to do this on offense. It's just not. It's just not the shit I see with Larinaga. I see with Spo. I see with Mike McDaniel. I just don't expect to see that with him. I just
unless he gets maybe the coordinator that he's wanted all this time, which is Jason Candle, the Toledo coach. That's the guy he's really wanted since he got the job. Maybe at some point he's able to convince him to come here and be the coordinator. So
is this third president he's going to go get after failing the two times or something? All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is he joining our Jewish friends? Is he going to have like 9 days of Hanukkah, and so he's going to get 9 shots at 9 different coaches or something? What's going on?
I guess.
Wishes. So after he fails with that guy, well, he wished the guy there, but now he had this secret wish that he really wanted this guy for the fourth. So we're lighting the fourth candle now. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, how many shots? How much more money is the administration going to say, yo, dude, I want results for this money. I'm not getting results for this money.
Brother, there's no doubt. But let me tell you that the people in the administration are heavily invested because they know it needs to work. So I don't think money will be an issue. And I don't think Shannon Dawson is making that much anyway. So.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So they got it.
I don't think they overpaid for him.
So, fueron a Zaire. Is that what you're telling me?
They didn't break the bank for the guy who wasn't calling the plays at Houston.
So. For my Anglo friends out there, fue a Zaire is basically, did he go to TJ Maxx? Basically. What's going on? Is that where we're shopping now?
I think the problem for Mario is I think a lot of coordinators know that he's going to interfere in some way, shape, or form, and that coming to coach with him may not be in your best interest. And I hope whoever he gets next, whoever it is, I hope they can bring a quarterback with them, kind of the way our boy did before when he brought D'Eriq King with him.
Can he convince Deion Sanders to go over and bring his son?
Shedeur, that might work. That might get things going in the right direction for our guys. I don't know, man. I don't know, but whatever the case is,
Shedeur's not going to enjoy it here. The Coral Gables police will have the boots out a lot faster. Okay?
That's true.
You see how
they will throw out his car quite a bit.
They waited till he started losing games. Oh, boot his ass, boot his ass, boot his ass. That's it. When he was winning games, let him park anywhere. Oh no, he's losing games. Boot his ass. Let's go. So, All right. What do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out?
Well, I will be writing a column tomorrow about the differences between Miami and FSU. Mainly, Norvell is an offensive coach who has his vision intact, and Mario's still trying to find his. So, hopefully, some way, shape, or form, Miami gets there within the next 2 years and can be where FSU is, in year 4 under Norvell.
Is the picture of Mario going to resemble something like Ray Charles or something like that? One has vision, the other one doesn't, or what's
Oh man, I feel for him, dude. I feel for him because I know how bad he wants it. I know he wishes that this team was right, but
no, I know. No, that's the part that tears me up. That he's a good dude. He means well. He's a South Florida guy. He really wants to win. You're not going to outwork him, and all. He has all the traits you want. But he's missing the most important one, bro. You know what I mean? That's like, okay, you and I go to Publix, right? We're buying steak, we're buying seasoning, we're buying this, we're buying some kind of oil, this, that, boom, pop, boom. We get there, we come home, and then you look at him and you go, all right, let's do it. And, you obviously, no, dude, I just bought whatever. I don't know how to cook. And that's the problem now. We've given him all the ingredients, and he's sitting there going, let me go watch Guy Fieri. Maybe I'll get some, that he's.
Hey, listen, Butch was the same way, right? He was, and eventually he did it right.
Not a good X's and O's guy. He was basically a car salesman. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, he reminds me of. I always compare him to Pat Kennedy at FSU. Pat Kennedy was a badass recruiter, bro. Couldn't coach lick, but because he was just roll the ball out there and all that stuff. But boy, he can recruit his ass off. FSU had some pretty good teams under Pat Kennedy, and it wasn't because he was outsmart. It was just his players. That's it. If they were on that night, he won. So
if he gets a quarterback this offseason, maybe that is a little bit more mobile and can be a threat, and the tight ends somehow get healthy and you can implement them in the offense, maybe that's what you need to, instead of going 7-5 or 8-4 or 6-6, you finally get to the 10-win mark like Florida State did in year 3, and you take that big step forward. So, but they still clearly need that.
One thing, make sure you tell Mario, okay, when you see him, that quarterbacks don't work well with handcuffs. You can't take the snap, Mario, and pass at the same time. Handcuffs, Mario. Handcuffs.
100%. 100%. Okay. I'll tell him.
Right. Follow him on Twitter, Danny_Navarro. I hope you feel better, my brother. Thank you for being a trooper and hanging in there.
I hope I didn't look too bad tonight. I do feel like I got hit by a train last night, but other than that, I'm doing good. So
you're good.
Feeling better,
bro. I've always got the Benicio del Toro's going on, so don't worry about it, bro. It's all good. All right, baby.
Take care.
Thank you.
I'll see
you go. Manny Navarro getting it done. We appreciate him as always. All right.